Mama, welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and this podcast exists to help scholarly mamas like you to achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters most. Here, we're changing the overwhelm, juggle, struggle narrative around what it means to be a mama on an academic journey to one of empowerment, fulfillment, and purposeful success. So how do we successfully navigate these journeys? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Let's begin by saying yes to creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, because that's when we truly become purposefully whole. So get ready for the most non-traditional, unconventional, and revolutionary approach to PhD motherhood, because one thing I have learned over my many years of experience on this journey is that if you want something different, you have to do something different. But you must be brave enough to think differently first. So, Mama, are you in? Fabulous. Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Hey, Mama, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for being here. As always, this is the place where ambitious mamas like you can come and feel seen, feel supported, feel strengthened, feel heard, feel understood. And this episode is going to be one from the heart. It's going to be real and raw because listen, this is real life. This is reality. Real life, I always say, is multidimensional. And this week was a testament of that. If you've ever had a week where you felt like you were holding everything together with just duct tape and a prayer, then Mama, you're my people. You're not alone. Because here's the truth. Sometimes, no matter how perfect the plans, how color-coded the calendar, how tight the schedule, life will still throw us curveballs. Life will still throw us curveballs, especially curveballs that we did not see coming, right? And so in that situation, what happens? You're left trying to juggle all the things, work, motherhood, relationships, your own peace of mind, while everything feels like it's just slipping through your fingers. This is what I felt like last week. And this is why I want to share this, because I want to make sure that this space is always real, that you feel like this is real life, that your journey, that the challenges that you are feeling, that you are not alone in that. We all experience these kinds of challenges. We all have these weeks. And I definitely had my share of this last week. And, I want to reassure you that as scholarly, striving mamas, that we can move through this chaos. We can navigate this with purpose and without losing ourselves, right? So last week, I had everything lined up. I had work meetings. I recently started a new role, which I am loving so far, but obviously it's a new role. So there's a lot of, new information, new things to take in, new things to adjust to, new schedules. I'm also doing my other role. So my hands are full at the moment. And I had work meetings. I had a course that I was doing. I had deadlines. I had the school runs, which my husband and I share. I had a parent meeting for one of my other sons, and it was all happening. It was all happening. And then our youngest came down with chickenpox. Yes, chickenpox decided to make a grand entrance with a bang. I must say, with a bang. It was not nice. Overnight, everything changed. We had plans, obviously, for the Easter weekend last week. We had so many plans, and that kind of all just went out the window. It was all beginning to feel like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the worst week for this. The kids were going back to school. It was all happening. And this neatly planned week where everything was all well organized, planned, After school club was in place, nursery was in place, childcare was in place, the school runs were set. I had my schedule for my work. My husband had his schedule. We were all set to get back to work, bearing in mind that we were off for the Easter break, and this was us going back to the routine, and it all just fell to pieces. And my heart, that was torn. That was torn between the guilt over all of the rejuggling and reshuffling I had to do with work, the fact that our son couldn't attend nursery, so they had to be contingency plans put in place between my husband and I, and we managed to juggle that. Of course, looking after him and the heartbreak of seeing my little baby just so full of pox everywhere and just uncomfortable and itchy and clingy, and all he wanted to do was cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. And it was heartbreaking because I couldn't take that pain away from him. I couldn't take that discomfort away. So if this sounds familiar to you, believe me, you are not alone. I am just grateful that I was able to submit a grant application that I was working on a couple of weeks before this happened, because I know that if I hadn't, I definitely would not have been able to do that this week. But yeah, it was one of these moments. And in these moments, it's so easy to feel like we're failing. It's easy to believe that we should hold everything together and things should always go to plan. And why are we not on top of things? But mama, hear me when I say this. When this kind of thing happens, whether it's planned or unplanned, obviously in our case, we didn't plan to have chickenpox. We didn't want to have chickenpox in the house. But you're not failing. You're adjusting. You're prioritizing. You're mothering. And that is sacred work. That is purposeful work. Life as a scholarly mama isn't about perfectly juggling all of the balls, because that's not realistic, right? Life happens. Life throws curveballs. Plans change. Things get delayed. This is just the reality of motherhood, right? So it's not about perfectly juggling all these balls. It's about knowing which balls are made of glass, which ones you need to catch and prevent those from falling and breaking, and which ones are made of rubber that you can just let them bounce. And last week, with our son being so unwell, the glass ball was his health. It was him. He was the glass ball last week. I could not focus on all the other things. I needed to prioritize my baby's health. Everything else, rubber. I juggled those things. I rescheduled things I needed to reschedule. I send apologies where I need to. I rebook things when I need to. I change plans as I need to. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, actually. It's wisdom in action. It is wise. It is wisdom in action. So what can we do when life blows up our best laid plans? The first thing I would say is to really prioritize ruthlessly without apology. Like prioritize. Ask yourself, what really matters right now in this moment right now? For me, that was my son. I needed to make sure that he was as comfortable as he could be, make sure that he was okay and he didn't have a raging temperature. We got that under control, and that he was comfortable. He wasn't scratching and itching, but he was as comfortable as he could be. That was our focus. And then giving yourself, this is number 2, giving yourself permission to let go. Drop that guilt of all the things that you're not going to be able to do because life has thrown a curveball. There's no point in feeling guilty. It's a useless emotion in this context. It doesn't help. It doesn't change the situation. So there is no point feeling guilty. There's no point in holding on to this, all the things that could have been and should have been and that are not going to happen clearly. The third thing is to ask for help. Ask for help if you need it. If you need to send an email to say, can someone else take on this? Can someone else do that? Can you help me with this deadline? Can you help me do this task? Ask for help where you need it. My husband was able to, to be off a couple of days to help out as well, so that I can get the work done I needed to do. Asking for help isn't weakness. We are a team. So we got through this week together, and that was important for us to work together to navigate the situation, to get through the week. Asking for help is not weakness, it is wisdom. The fourth thing to do in a situation like this, where life is blowing up your plans and everything is falling to pieces, is to protect your peace. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or reflection or prayer, journaling, whatever works for you, protect your peace like it's the most precious thing. Because again, trying to look after a sick child, trying to manage our other kids who still need to get to school, who still need to do homework, who still need to get on with things, that's a lot. That's a lot to manage. And then, of course, thinking about work and all the things that need to be done for that. It's a lot. So take a few minutes to breathe and compose yourself in these moments. And then stay connected. This is the last one. Stay connected. Don't isolate yourself. Obviously, when I was in the thick of it last week, it would have been easy to kind of just stay at home with him, focus on him, not share what was happening. But I didn't do that. I let some of my friends, family know what was happening. They were able to offer some support, give little tips, and it was so lovely to have everybody checking in to find out how he was doing. That was really lovely. And so I didn't feel alone. I felt very supported, and of course my husband was journeying through all of this with me, and we were going through this together and managing the situation together. And so I didn't feel isolated at all. I felt very supported and very much a part of a village of support, even if that was virtual in some cases, obviously with our families living abroad. But it was, we felt the love, we felt the support, and that was always great. Because you know what? I know and appreciate the importance of sharing these experiences with others and not feel alone, because we need community, especially when things are messy, especially when things don't always go to plan. And so, the importance of not isolating yourself is also there as well. Maybe it's sending a text message to a friend. Maybe it's letting people know what's happening, letting people know what you're dealing with at home so that they can have compassion, that they can help you if needed, that they can at least show empathy for the situation. And speaking of community, if you are nodding along, if your heart feels like, this is definitely speaking to me, Michelle, like a little bit lighter just hearing this, I want to invite you to join us inside Scholarly Mamas, which is our community for mothers who are like us, mothers who are juggling big dreams, big ambitions, but also big responsibilities and also big love without losing who we are at the core, without losing ourselves in the process. Inside Scholarly Mamas, you'll find support, you'll find mentorship, you'll find tools, and most importantly, sisterhood. This is what is really important, that we create that community, that we don't navigate this journey alone. You don't have to do all of this alone. So come join us inside Scholarly Mamas, come say hello, and come and just be a part of something amazing. But more importantly, come get the support you need to finish well, the support you need to navigate this struggle and actually turn that from overwhelm into purposeful success. So just remember, as I bring this to a close, because this is going to be a short episode today, but as I bring this to a close, I want you to remember that even when things are falling apart, you are not failing. You are not falling apart. You are becoming even stronger. You are resilient. You can manage the situation. You are not broken. So even if it means just taking one little moment, one messy day at a time, that's okay. I'm cheering you on as always. And until next time, Mama, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of gratitude. And just to let you know that by the time you listen to this, things are a lot better. Our son is recovering. He's still got his little scabs and things, but they've all dried now. So he's no longer contagious, thankfully, and can head back to nursery and back to his usual routine. So yay. But yes, until next time, Mama, sending you lots of love and lots of gratitude. Take care. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, please head over to mrsmummyphd.com or scholarlymamas.com. If you want to do your PhD well without sacrificing yourself or those you love dearest, then you need your hands on all the ways that we can work together to transform your journey of scholarly motherhood from one of overwhelm, disillusionment and burnout to one of scholarly joy and purposeful success. Make sure you head over to mrsmummyphd.com. I'll leave a link in the show notes. I cannot wait to work with you. Remember, Mama, these are our journeys of becoming.